Hi, and welcome to the JSource International Reporting Bureau Weekly Wrap-Up, where we follow Canadian coverage of international stories. I'm Adriana Jung, coming to you from Humber College. Here's a look back at what's been happening around the world this week. On Monday, Canadian news outlets reported on the ISIS beheading of Japanese journalist Kenji Goto. The story led international coverage for both the Toronto Star and the National Post. The Star published a Bloomberg report titled "Japan's Dilemma in Wake of Beheadings," while the Post relied on the New York Times for its coverage. And, with a slightly different angle, CBC and CTV looked to the Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe defending his handlings of the hostage situation with ISIS. On Tuesday, Canadian international coverage focused on the uncertainty over Canadian-Egyptian Mohamed Fahmy's release from Egypt. The Al Jazeera journalist was arrested by officials in 2013 on terror charges. Fahmy holds dual citizenship and decided to give up his Egyptian passport to help mediate his release. The Toronto Star and the Globe and Mail both opened their world coverage with reports related to Fahmy's possible release. The Star's report included quotes from the Egyptian Foreign Ministry on the evolving status of the journalist, while the Globe quoted Fahmy's fiancée, who said Egyptian authorities made his release conditional. She said they would grant him freedom if he gives up his citizenship in Egypt. ISIS grabbed Canadian headlines once again this week, this time after a video was released Tuesday showing a Jordanian fighter pilot who was held hostage by the militant group being burned alive. Jordan retaliated Wednesday by executing 2 al-Qaeda captives. This story was featured in all Canadian news outlets throughout Wednesday and Thursday. CBC and CTV both relied on the Associated Press for their coverage, while CTV also included a video describing Jordan's plan to execute 5 more captive ISIS militants. A deadly plane crash in Taiwan also garnered attention from Canadian outlets this week. It's reported that the TransAsia plane experienced engine failure shortly after takeoff. Shown here is amateur footage captured by a driver's dash cam. The plane clipped a bridge before crashing in the Taipei River, just narrowly avoiding some building complexes. CTV and CTV relied on the Associated Press for coverage. Both news outlets reported that the pilot made a mayday call just before the crash. The National Post ran a feature-length report on Thursday from Tom Phillips in Beijing and Grace Tsoi in Taipei. Finally, the escalating violence in Ukraine prompted coverage by Canadian media throughout the week. On Tuesday, the National Post began its world coverage with a front-page tease headlined "Military Aid." The report focused on the possibility of the U.S. supplying Ukraine weapons to fight separatists. CTV's online international coverage published a report by the Associated Press. The article says UN figures now show the death toll has exceeded 5,000, with more than 12,000 injured since fighting broke out last year. Well, that's it for this week. For these stories and more, visit us at jsource.ca or follow us on Twitter. Join us again next Friday for your weekly Canadian international news coverage. I'm Adriana Jung with the JSource International Reporting Bureau at Humber College.